It is said that in JavaScript, everything is an object. But before I tell you how you can create the objects, how you can work with objects in JavaScript, let me talk about these objects in general. So in real life as well, most of the things that you see, that you feel are objects. For example, this pen is an object and it has got some properties like color of the pen or the manufacturer. And similarly, the shirt is also an object. Or for example, this duster, it is also an object. This whiteboard, it is also an object. So whenever you work in any software programming language, how they design the software is based upon the objects. Python, Java, JavaScript, all these languages are object based. So basically everything is object, and every object has got certain properties. As I said, this particular whiteboard marker has got one property called as color, manufacturer. So the manufacturer is Anko. The color of this whiteboard marker is black. And similarly, whenever you work with any software system, we have to think in terms of objects. Now that you have understood the concept of objects in general, let us see how you can create the objects in JavaScript, and also how you can create the properties for that object and then access those properties outside of that object as well. So let's get started. So there are several ways in which you can create objects in JavaScript. In this lesson, I'm gonna just cover one type or one way in which you can create the objects. In subsequent lessons, I will be covering other options or other ways in which you can create the objects. So the simplest way in which you can create the objects in JavaScript is using the literal syntax. Say for example, you want to create one object called as car. So we can do it like this: let car is equals to, and then curly brackets, then properties, for example, make, model, and year. And we can have some values associated with that as well. So for example, make is say Honda, model is Civic, year is say 2011. That's it. One object is already created and it's here. The object name is car. It has got three properties: make, model, year, and its values are here. So this is the syntax how you can create the properties. So property name, then colon, its value, then there is a comma, and you can give the list of other properties in the same fashion as well. Now I will show you how you can access those properties on this object. So let us say you want to access the model of this car. So what you can do is console.log, model is car.model. That's it. And what it will print is its car's models, that is Civic. So the output will be Civic. So remember how you can access the properties: the object name followed by dot symbol and then property name. That is how you can access the properties of that particular object. There is another notation, the square bracket notation, through which you can access the properties as well. So for example, what you can do is car, and then in the square brackets you can put model. Okay, that's it. So just put the property name in the square brackets and then it will give the same result. So there are two ways in which you can access the properties: one using the dot notation and one using these square brackets. The only difference between these two is that these square brackets are very important when you want to access the properties dynamically. So for example, instead of putting it model here, we can have one variable as well. So we can use the variable and then we can access that particular property using say variable name v1. So dynamically we can change that property names, but in here you have to specify the exact property name, whatever it is, make, model, or the year. The next lesson is going to be very important for you, because in that lesson I will be covering inheritance in JavaScript. If you are coming from the Java background, then the inheritance concepts in JavaScript you will find a little bit confusing and complicated. But I will make sure that all the concepts are very clear and you fully understand the meaning of inheritance, the prototype based inheritance in JavaScript. So I'll see you in next video. Till then, enjoy your time. Bye bye.